Well, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I just am here again, consecutively here. In other words, 2 days in a row. And the reason I'm here today is because yesterday's episode I kind of discovered was a gong. Gong. That means there was something that happened when I played it back that um, I noticed. The sound of two people talking in an interview with Sandra Brondello and Angel Reese did not have sound. So I'm here today to try to make up for that. That's my OCD part of me, little ADHD, that I don't like when things are not decent and they're out of order. Can I get an amen? So today, this is a show that's literally called an addendum from the previous episode, Videos Without Sound. Of course, I'm going to have a commentary about the WNBA All-Star Weekend and some things Jasmine Crockett is talking about regarding Todd Blanche trying to become the Attorney General of this here America. You know, I can't you I can't separate. You can never separate what I've said before. Sports is a microcosm of what's happening in our society. We have things happening in sports. I'm going to just stick with the WNBA because it is the WNBA weekend and it's a microcosm of what's going on. We have division. That's why we talk about race and cultures bridging the divides. The last episode talked about the divisiveness, and we must do better. There's so much division going on in the WNBA, controversies, and in this country we have issues going on, murders. We have a young man, he's black, from Mississippi. They went out to Horn Island with his buddies. They were white guys. The white guys came back. The black guy didn't. Nolan Wells. Nolan Wells, they find he is dead. Now we hear people criticizing the family because they want answers for what happened to my baby, what happened to my son, what happened to him. So now you're hearing people have the nerve to call these people racist because they want to know. Now, look what I just said. He went out to the island with white boys. A racist person might say, don't you be hanging around with those boys. They don't look like you. That's not what happened. The mother says, they called me racist. And she says, I am a health provider. I love everyone. And that's exactly what Jesus told us to do. He took two commandments, broke them down to one. The first one, he said, love God with all your heart, mind, and soul. The second one, love thy neighbors, you love thyself. This mother's talking about loving people. And I hate to say it, I love all people too. But to use a little bit of Ben Daniels' words, call a spade a spade. When something's right, I'm going to call it out. When something's wrong, I'm going to call it out. Pay attention to it all. That's why we are woke. We are woke, folks. We must be woke. So Nolan Wells is dead. We'll get into more of that. But it is a microcosm. People don't want to see certain things. People want to divide things. And a lot of that gets back into what is the WNBA? The WNBA to me is about Caitlin Clark. A lot of people didn't even know what the WNBA stood for. I said this in the last episode. But Caitlin Clark brought eyeballs to the game. She brought fans to the game. She brought revenues to the game. These people are hating on Caitlin Clark, and don't get it twisted. You can say anything you want. The Angel Reeses, the Diana Taurasi's. Now, I'm gonna just say like this: they're great players. They're great players, but Caitlin is the best I've ever seen. The best I've ever seen. Aja Wilson, Diana Taurasi. I mean, I told you yesterday that Cynthia Cooper was one of my players that I loved watching. Lisa Leslie. You know, I go all the way back to Nancy Lieberman. You know, she played for the UCLA. Sheena Aunt Meyer. She played for the UCLA Bruins along with her brother. He played. I've always watched women's sports, women basketball. I love watching one of my greatest players. She's like a daughter to me, is Wanda Ford. She should have been in Wnba, but it didn't exist then. She had to play overseas. A lot of these players had to go play overseas to make more money. Caitlin Clark brought the revenues in. Now they're getting paid serious money, but they are hating on her because she is so good. Some people say it's just racism. Some people just say it's jealousy. I think it's a combination of both. I know I've heard a lot of the black female players downright talk about not liking white folks. I digress. So hopefully you'll hear some of the things Sandra Brandella said and then what Angel Reese said. And I just want to start off, I'm going to recap basically what I did yesterday. Down in Mississippi, I'm going to finish that off. Mississippi, I call it the lynching state of America. Lynch more black folks ever in history. Always have problems. You see shows about Mississippi, you know, we talk about the Cheney Schroner and the civil rights boys that were killed in Mississippi, trying to get people to vote. We have right now going on in this country, taking voting rights away from people. Don't get it twisted. Attacking black folks. I told you yesterday that this country is based upon what happened with black folks and white folks. And we have an administration that is trying to come after the black folk. I'm going to keep loving everybody. I talked about my family, my father from Mississippi, my mother from Tennessee, grew up in Jim Crow. They taught me to love people. My maternal grandparents were from the Cherokee Nation. She still taught me how to love everybody. Circle of the First Nations. But Sandra Bondello is fighting this fight. That why I came up. You know, I taught race and ethnic relations and diversity training and DEI kind of things, human relations, as a professor, and also some during elementary, junior high, and high school. Some studies I did there with students. But Sandra Mandela is dealing with a cultural issue, and we all need to do better. We need to do better. But this is what it's all about. This is the video that you didn't get the sound on yesterday, and hopefully, we can make it work today.
Yeah, straight after the game, because the statement, I wanted to put that out as soon as I woke up, and I reached out to him after the game. I thought that was important to the GM and asked him to speak to Angel, because she doesn't really know me very well. I have a ton of respect for her, and but I wanted to make sure.
I like that phrase. She don't know me. That's the point. We need to get to know each other. Get to know each other. Sit down with someone who doesn't look like you, talk like you, or as tall as you, or short as you. Get to know them.
Sure that it was an emotional statement, and it's in a statement that's it's very common in Australia.
Australia.
And it wasn't
protected species.
Angel,
you see it in the graphic there.
Player. That's not the kind of coach I am, or a player back in my day, and it was just unfortunate. So I was pretty emotional with Niara, her being injured again, and I made a comment that
Emotional with my player. She's injured. If you don't understand what happened, this is what happened. Angel Reese going up for a layup bloopy again, as the Pope calls it. That she misses layups, all the time, and he calls them. And she, it's a bloopy again. Angel didn't make the layup, so they went up. There was Angel was way over. She was way over on the other side. I have no idea how they called a foul on her. And that's what set Sandy Brondello off. She said she's a protected species. Favoritism from another player was what they call it in Australia. And boy, everybody went bananas when she said that. Something from her culture.
That Australians, we say all the time. And unfortunately, I should have, took a breath and realized where I am. Like in America, because I know racism is such a big issue here. But hopefully, I've been in this league for 27 years, and obviously I have never had any issues like this because, these are all my team.
27 years playing with black folks, coaching black folks, never had an issue. But she said, it is an issue here in the United States. Gnaw on that bone for a minute. What about Australia? I'll get into that in a little bit here. It's an issue in this country.
Mates, and I've learned so much about from the black players that I've coached and that I've had on staff, and I know I'm not racist, so it's a really unfortunate situation. So, but I really, I wanted to apologise whenever Angel's ready. I have, reached out to their organisation and very sincere because I never want that to happen to anyone. It's so much in this WNBA, and I felt mad at myself because
as she's talking,
I'm a part of the solution, not the problem.
Pay attention to the comments
she
to the right.
Me in my heart. I think everyone else that I've coached in this league, they know that.
Okay, I'm going to cut it off there. You get her drift. But this is what got me. That's why I say know what you're talking about. This lady, I don't know who this person is. With the name, how can you have a name and want respect like this? The F-bomb, Howard, the whatever. She says, or he said, I don't know who it is, a male or female. She has been a racist, period. The term protected species is a phrase that has long been used in Australia as a derogatory slur toward Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. It comes from the stereotype that Indigenous Australians supposedly get away with everything or receive special treatment, which is exactly the implication behind the comment. She is definitely being racist, and now we're trying to cover it up, not realizing she can't get away with it like she has done here. This person doesn't understand culture. What she's saying is absolutely incorrect. This is not accurate, folks. So I'll clarify that in a few minutes. So I want to go to what Angel is seeking here in terms of her opinion about this. She deserves her day in court, so to speak.
Situation that happened last game, and I'm going to address this one time. First, I appreciate Sandy's apology, but also appreciate the love and support that I have had for the last 48 hours. It has been very.
See, I like what Angel said. She's appreciative of what the apology and everything. But then it gets back to where Angel wants to have people feel sorry for her. I mean, for example, when she came into the league with Caitlin, she goes to social media. She says, it's about me, not just one person. Well, sorry, your game is nowhere near Caitlin Clark's game, So, but that's it. I think Angel, I don't know. No, I don't know Angel. I know a lot more about Caitlin, but I just wish that people wouldn't run to the media trying to get attention. That's all.
Overwhelming with a lot of love and also other things. But I am grateful that the league did take action on what the situation had happened. There's no place for discrimination or hate in this league from anyone, from fans to coaches to players. And I'm just grateful that we are able to move on from the situation and just play winning basketball. The WNBA is supposed to be positive, and we are going through
Supposed to
a great
be.
right now. So I just want to continue that and move forward.
We're going to sound orderly.
Hello, everyone. I'm sure everyone knows about the situation that happened
Okay.
last game.
That's Angel's take on it. So you all get the drift. So what is transpired after this? A lot of different things. So we have what transpired is this. Sandra Brondello was suspended. Okay, 27 years without pay. Now, I said yesterday, why was there no due process? Wouldn't it have been better to sit both Angel and Sandra Brondello and maybe Angel's parents and whatever to come forth and just talk about the cultural difference? We're all much more alike than we are different, folks. The likeness here is basketball. Sandra Brondello wants to coach basketball. She's played basketball, and that's the real deal. So 27 years, I won't go and put that back up again, but we need to understand what exactly is protected species. Okay, so we look here for the term. We have to look at we call colloquial issues. Okay, things that that people say that just may be familiar with a certain country, everything else like that. But as I said yesterday, it's for a protected species, is a star player, special person. They get everything, the calls from the ref, so on and so forth. That's what it means. That's what it means. Now back to the lady or the person who is attributing this, calling Sandra Brondello a racist, that don't really understand the history. This is the history. Okay. This is what she's trying to talk about. That at the top, it talks about simply a player getting special attention, sports contact versus cultural contact. Australian vernacular in AFL, NRL, and Australian basketball being a protected species, common phrases for complain that the star player gets special treatment. So this recent incident here. So, but this is important. I'm going to skip down. Aboriginal. Aboriginal are the indigenous, the inhabitants of that country that's been there for the longest. Now, in this country, the indigenous people, the people that have been here that got just mistreated, slaughtered, and killed, were all those people that were here. We call them the circle of the First Nations. The true Americans are those people that are Seminole, those people that are Cherokee, those people that are Apache. Of course, that's more of the plains, but nevertheless, that's something that should be really identified and looked at. So the Aboriginals are like that. Historically, sports in Australia were often used by settler governments, like, say, England, for example, that went and did a lot of colonization over in Australia, were often used by settler governments, that they are, and missionaries as paternalistic, civilizing, and assimilation tools. So we're going to teach you Aboriginal people how to play soccer, lacrosse, and all these things that are akin, rugby, that is akin to our culture. That's what you call trying to acculturate, not assimilate. People get that crazy stuff mixed up. Acculturation is absorbing the major tools of the dominant culture. Assimilation is you kind of blend in. You a Swedish person can look like a Jewish person. An Aboriginal person, some of them are light-skinned now. Some people can pass for white, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, so that's what this person is getting mixed up. But what's interesting here is the modern reconciliation. So Australian sporting bodies such as the Australian Sports Commission, actively work to undo this legacy by prioritizing First Nations inclusion. That means the Aboriginal, they get prioritization to be included with Australian traditional custodians. Okay, respecting traditional custodians, respecting each other. So the work is ongoing. The work is not finished. Work must go on. The work man is not finished. While these indigenous athletes, like the Aborigines, make up a massive percentage of professional players in leagues like the AFL, the fight against overt racism, structural bias, and fair representation in coaching and front office roles remain a sensitive and ongoing challenge. Sound like some of the United States, right? When are we going to get it together? When are we going to have front offices be more inclusionary? Did we say DEI? Did we say DEI? Well, so what's going on right now is people are so misinformed and misinterpreting things that are happening right now. So this is All-Star Weekend. So in All-Star Weekend, what exactly is happening? Well, a lot is happening. Now, I like to do things about All-Star Weekend, but this is funny to me. I want to play this. These are called the Stud Buds, and they're doing something. Now they got a little language in here, but this is funny to me.
About your other phone though, ain't it?
It's on here.
Oh, crying. Oh, you brought an iPad or something?
No,
Damn. I'm just saying for like the music.
I don't got my other phone up here.
I'm saying because you see every time I try to click on this to go look at the chat. Oh, but how I could just turn it off right here.
They're
Let's see if it works.
they're fun. They're funny. I just wanted to share it. I just want to share that with everybody. So they're really funny. And so here we go back to the All-Star Weekend. What exactly is happening? We have people lined up and doing things. And Caitlin Clark said, I'm not going. I'm not going. Now, fairness. I want to show some clips I keep talking about Caitlin and her treatment in the WNBA. So I just want to run some quick little clips here. Now, this first one is a little clip from what happened in the last game. It's going to go real quick here. I don't have the sound up. Oh, see, that is something. So Caitlin is upset about that. So what happens? She gets called a technical foul, her 7th technical foul. That's not right. Jacquel Jones, that was a hard pick. Caitlin goes down. This happens to her all the time. So I'll run through some more here. He screamed at the referee about it. Here's some other clips that's going on with Caitlin. She's getting grabbed all the time. She gets knocked down, no foul. The ref puts her hand, Caitlin comes up limping. Stayed in the game. What a warrior. Here's another one. This is also in that game. This is what she got. Miller. She went and grabbed Caitlin, and this is where Caitlin got, where she got this 7th foul. The girl grabs her and keeps coming at her, and they both got technicals. This is the call that people are talking about. Breonna Stewart. Caitlin going up for a layup. This is a game against Newark Liberty. Caitlin gets hits across the face. No foul. Actually got hit in the eye. Breonna Stewart just wants to shrug it off like she didn't do anything wrong. But that's a foul. Even if it's an accident, she fouled her. No call. Caitlin gets hit. Now she's on the sidelines. Here we go again. This is the replay. Boom, out of bounds. No foul call. She gets up limping. This is a game where Caitlin's space violation. You're not supposed to do that. It's supposed to give the player a chance to come down. Landing space violation, that's what it's called. No call. Here's another one coming up. They grab Caitlin all the time, pushes her. They called a foul that time. So the girl got in her face, yells at her. Caitlin yells back. Caitlin gets called for technicals. Other people don't. Caitlin gets hit again. I'm just showing some of the problems that we have going into All-Star Weekend. So what does Caitlin do? What's Caitlin's reaction? I want to just share with you. This is from KTV, Maurice, from his show, what he talked about. Caitlin refuses to go to the All-Star Weekend orange carpet, red carpet. But I like, he's kind of funny. This is what his take is.
Call the president, bro.
Let me play that for y'all.
Where's Caitlin Clark? For real, man, call the president, brother. Ain't no way they charging me $1,800. Call the president, tell her to handle this shit, man.
You see C-Dub. Hey, C-Dub. We'll get it done for you. Because you know what? You done held it down for CC. You haven't been a hater. You haven't been jealous the whole time. We'll place the call to Caitlin Clark to get whatever it is you need. Take a look at it. Shout out to Correlation. Correlation said, bruh, Caitlin is in Iowa, and Studbug was just asking where she is. Caitlin Clark pulled a no-show. Caitlin Clark's out in Iowa having a good old time, not dealing with this nonsense, going to see, hair people and all of this stuff. She ain't got time to be dealing with these people no more. And I don't blame her. If I was Caitlin Clark, I wouldn't want to deal with these idiots any longer either. It's just been too much. Too much has been done. Too much has been done. Caitlin Clark pulled a absolute no-show. Here she is in Iowa. Okay. She said, I'm not going. I'll catch y'all. I'll catch y'all when I catch y'all. I might just show up. I might not show up to All-Star Weekend until 10 minutes before the game. I might not show up till 10 minutes before the game because y'all don't deserve the GOAT's presence with the way you guys have been acting. I don't blame Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is out in Iowa enjoying herself, getting her hair done, doing all types of stuff. Went to see mom, went to see dad, all that good stuff.
That's the deal, folks. I like this. I used to, when I saw Sonia Citron playing at Notre Dame when she was playing, I said, man, she reminds me of Caitlin. And the person made the same caption up there. I know they were playing the other day and they were playing against the Mystics. And my wife said, okay, Caitlin, go Caitlin. Caitlin just made a shot. I said, no, honey, that was Sonia Citron. I do that all the time. I get them mixed up. So I think that is so funny that they look so much alike. And so Caitlin is in Iowa. She's not coming back for this NBA. She, like he said, she'll show up 10 minutes before the game probably and play, but she's not going to play. Play celebration and okay, sound like cool in the game. She's not going to play the red carpet thing and orange carpet thing. So I just want to share one more piece here. And it's very important to know where we come from, culture. I think that there's so much misperception. If there's this hatred and calling Caitlin a racist, then we must be prepared to understand that racism and these prejudices actually are things that people learn at home. You know, you go home, you sit around the dinner table. Oh, did you hear about this one and that one? I mean, people are talking smack, calling people names. I talked about how things were when I was growing up in the neighborhood I grew. I heard people use the N word all the time. But as soon as they heard somebody else say it that didn't look like them, white folk, they wanted to bust a cap on them, knock them out. That's not right either. None of it's right. So this is the story of Caitlin and Angel's family. See, Brent Clark previously played college basketball and baseball at Simpson College in Iowa, and that's the school I used to teach at. And Ann has a background as a marketing executive and leads strategic partnerships for her daughter's brand, CC22 Ventures, which Caitlin helps a lot of people out, people who don't look like her. Both of them come from highly effective families. Caitlin's grandfather, Bob Busy, was a revered high school football coach in Des Moines. And let me share something about Bob Busy. Bob Busy coached at Dowling High School, where Caitlin went to school at. And here's interesting about her maternal grandfather, that's her mother's dad. Bob Busy, he was a great football coach for Dowling, 70s and 80s. And it was interesting. I was at this game with Coach Nizzy when he was coaching. My good friend Ron, his son was Grant. And I watched Grant run all over his team for 222 yards. But then they met again in the state game. They held my friend's son Grant to 84 yards. I said, boy, you can't make this stuff up. It keeps coming back at me that I'm so somewhat connected to this whole situation of Caitlin. But let's look at a little bit more about Dowling High School in West Des Moines. Some people always say Des Moines, but it's West Des Moines. Reports an overall ethnic and racial diversity rate of approximately 31% to 33%. The student body is predominantly white and minority enrollment consisting of Hispanic, Asian, Black people. Now, when I worked in that school district, and I was part of what they called the desegregation team, where they had schools that were predominantly white and other ones predominant minority. You had to have a balance of at least 20 to 30%, and you switch. So a lot of those kids end up getting placed in other schools. Even though Dowling is a private, parochial school, they really went out of their way to do the same thing. It's amazing. Dowling High School is a great school. So 71% of the population is white. So Caitlin's around 15% Hispanic and Latino. She's around 5% Asian, Black / African American, 5%. People that, by 3 or more races, 3%, so on and so forth. That's how Angel grew up. She did not grow up in a racist kind of situation. And I know for a fact that her parents are good people. So contrast that to Angel's background, high school. This is what I really thought is interesting. Her mother was a phenomenal player. Her mother, Angel Webb Reese, played college basketball at the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, and was inducted into the University of Maryland Basketball Athletics Hall of Fame. She raised Angel and her brother, Julian, as a single mother after she and Michael divorced, her husband. And Angel's father, Michael Reese, played college basketball at Boston College and Loyola University in Maryland before playing professionally overseas in countries like Luxembourg, Portugal, and Austria. Angel attended St. Francis Academy in Baltimore, Maryland. The student body is predominantly African American. 93% of the school is Black. compared to the diversity in the school that Caitlin went to. So the remaining population of the 7% consists of white, Hispanic, and Asian students. So 7% is better than zero. Even HBCU schools have white folks. A lot of people don't realize that. So we have here the historical context of the school Angel went to, which gives a lot of pride, was founded in 1828 as being the oldest continually operating predominantly Black Catholic high school in the United States of this America. So that's between both of them. So what is the deal? We talking about cultures. Where do we come from? Who raised y'all? So we have to think about Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. They came into the WNBA, people in the pit as rivals. But as I said before, Angel and Caitlin have been playing against each other for years. And they even have said they don't have anything against each other. Angel said it's the media. But this is what gets people, is this. Again, she's Caitlin's name, Player of the Week. Player of the Week. You have other people playing. She has so many awards and so many accolades. She carries herself well. She doesn't go to social media and talk about what's happened to her. She just plays ball, and that's all she wants to do. And I tell you, WNBA players, that's what this weekend should be about. Trying to do the best you can with what you got. I just wanted to do an addendum episode because the voices didn't show up yesterday on the episode. But I just want this country to be better. I was alluding to earlier about loving people. I love all people. And as I said, if someone does something wrong, I don't care if they're Black or if they're white, I'm going to call it out. But I will also qualify this. I'm going to always try to do things to help Black folks that are being disenfranchised or marginalized. And that seems to be everywhere and all the time. So I'm going to help Black folks. I'm going to help white folks too. I'm going to help other cultures too, be it Asian cultures, be it from the first Americans culture, be it Seminole, Cherokee, whatever the case might be. My grandfather never liked the term Indian. To him, that was equivalent to the N-word. I just want to clarify why I don't use that word either. Anyway, I'm glad you joined me today. I look forward to seeing you all again. And I sincerely hope that this is not, nevertheless, it's been a great day. It's going to be a great day. Get to see my grandson play a little basketball this weekend. I'm going to enjoy it. And whatever you do it well. And if you're driving out there in your car, the way people drive around here, remember, when you drive safely. For the life you save just may be mine. Oh my, God bless you, Herb Kent the Cool Gent. Nevertheless, peace, love, and happiness, and soul.